I'm live. Hey, everybody. How are you today? It's Rebecca, and you are watching Rebecca the Reseller. Thanks for joining me today for my Thursday weekly live stream. If you don't notice, something is different. I'm using StreamYard. I was talking with one of my good reseller internet friends, Quenby the Grateful Queen, and she's like, you need to use StreamYard. You need to use StreamYard. And like several people have told me that I need to do it. And a while back I did. And then I got away from it and I got scared of it. So today I'm doing it. Hopefully this works. It looks like I'm on. It looks like Melissa's already here. Hey, Melissa, how are you? I see your comment. Good morning. Maybe just comment again. Let me know that you can see and hear me. Just so I know that this is happening. If you can, if you have a second, because I'm just very concerned that I'm not actually doing anything at all. I love StreamYard. I have the paper. Okay, awesome. You can good. Yes, I'm contemplating it because I knew before that it, is an upgrade. It's, will make things better. I knew about it before, but then I wasn't doing any lives for, during the pandemic and like dealing with Geo for homeschool. And now that I kind of want to get back into it again, there may be things I want to share my screen. Like there's just more that I may want to do. And I feel like I may be in the place to take these little baby steps forward into technology land and like learn some things. So thank you for being here, Melissa. It is perhaps that you are the only one. That's okay. No worries. We'll wait to see if anybody joins. But the topic for today, because you guys know I like to get into it for those that do come and watch the replay, I do like to talk about the content first, just so they can, see it and get out if they don't want to deal with the chit chat. However, today I really wanted it to be more of a discussion about paying up for items. And so I'm kind of hoping, I wrote down some questions, some like prompts, some things that we can talk about, but I'm kind of actually hoping that we all can join in and it's not really so much of me doing like presenting and tips and content, but more of a discussion this time around. I talked about this a little bit on Instagram this week, and I talked about it a little bit in my What Sold on Poshmark video that went up on Sunday, whatever day that was. And I mentioned how, there were a couple of items where I paid up for them and I get an offer, and I was scared to hold out for a better offer because I had paid up for it. I was like, this may be my one and only offer. What if I, counter, they don't come back and then I don't get another offer? Now I'm sitting on this $25 investment for even longer. Whereas if I can just flip it quicker, get a small profit, get my money back, my investment back, which is bigger than my normal investment, maybe that's okay. And I'm torn on this. And it's new for me to get into paying up. It's also kind of messing with my promotion structure because, I like to do deep discounts and big offers and, significant offers to likers and promotions and things. And so when I get into those, then I have to make sure that I don't include these things that I paid up for, because otherwise I would lose money, or that I price them so high that even with my crazy discount offers, I will still make money. And so in some situations that works, but in other situations it doesn't. It depends on the item. And I think it leads into another question that I'm hope everybody can kind of like jump in and talk about is like, I have some specific questions about like, what is paying up for you and things like that. But is it about getting the quick flip? And so it could be that you pay up for a basic brand, but you just know that you will flip it quickly. And so you want to get in and get out and get your profit. Or is it a really high-end item that the profit is there for you to pay up and still get a lot of profit, but it may not turn over quickly? And so these are the types of paying up options I'm kind of learning about and deciding what I have the stomach for, because in the end, I think it's really all about what you have the stomach for. Can you be okay with paying up for this item? Then can you be okay with sitting on this item? And can you be okay with saying no to offers, waiting out for that price that you want and not getting your profit and getting your quick flip and your investment back maybe for a little bit of time? So it looks like we have 7 people here. Hopefully you guys can do the like button for me. That's always helpful. And again, I'll say hi to Melissa because she's the only one that I see that has commented so far. And so I know you have a quick flip model. So if you want to kind of put in there like, and I'm hoping that everyone will jump in with like, what is paying up for you? For me, I used to shop at the bins. And so my average cost of goods was like 130 and 140, like $1.40. And so for me, paying up was going to the Goodwill retail and paying $7.49 full price for a dress. That was paying up for me previously. Then when I started ordering online during the pandemic, not so much going to the bins, of course, I haven't been there in well over a year now. You know, my average cost of goods has increased. Now it's actually, I thought it was more like $3, but I did all the math today. It's $4.31. I'm like, ah. So that's normal for me now to pay $4.31. And so for me, paying up is $15, $20, $25. I really don't think I've paid more than $25 for anything. I can't remember. But, you know, what does paying up look like for you? And can you, maybe the way to get into it is to over time increase your paying up, and that way you can kind of like build up a threshold. Perhaps if you're a bin shopper, paying up then is like $3 and $4, then maybe paying up is, you know, $10, and then you go from there. But I had someone comment on my what sold video the other day, and she's like, yeah, now paying up for me is like $100 buy cost, and I'm really trying to even, you know, get better than that and pay $300 and flip it to, you know, whatever. And I was like, oh my God, this lady is like killing it apparently and making really great buys at $100 a pop. There's only one item I bought for $100 and it's still it's sold. So this is why I'm a little gun shy on the high dollar amounts. But anyway, what I'll do is I'll just kind of go through some of the questions here that I had together. And then, you know, as you guys are around and you want to jump in so that it becomes more of a discussion and it's not just me saying what I think, you know, I'd love that because I like learning, you know, as much from you and for you guys all learning from each other as possible. But anyway, so what is paying up for me? I just said, you know, right now it's anywhere between $10 to $25 is paying up for me because my normal price that I pay is about $3 and $4. Okay. Hey, Beth, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Melissa says, my average used to be $1 and doing primarily bins. Now oh, wait, I can do this. Hold on. Can I do it? I can do the thing. Oh, there we go. Yay. Okay. Sorry. Now I do normal thrift store. My average is $205 per my spreadsheet, but paying up for me is like $5 or $6, which I don't really do much now. Yeah, I mean, you know, thank you. Yay, I did a comment. Woo! Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. For everyone, it's going to be different. And that's why I'm really curious, because especially when that lady popped in my comments the other day and was like, paying up for me is $100. I'm like, oh my God, that's going to blow my mind. But I think, yeah, if you can get incrementally, maybe the way to do it, you know, I'm getting comfortable now with paying $10 to $25 and then maybe I'll be able to move up from there. But thanks for sharing that, Melissa. Anyone else you want to join in the chat and let me know? I will go ahead and put you on the big screen here now that I figured out how to do it. It's really not that hard. I just get nervous about doing things I'm not familiar with. Okay, so how do you decide what to pay up for? So is it based on category? Is it based on brand? Is it based on style? You know, for me, I've really come into a place now 5 years in where I kind of have a feel for what a certain thing will sell for. It's not always right. And perhaps it's biased based on what I'll take for something. And so I already know in my head, you know, a Calvin Klein dress, I'll take a certain amount versus, you know, a pair of Lululemon leggings versus something else. And so I already have an idea in my mind. I don't have to check comps for those things. I've come to that place. But when it comes to paying up for something, then I still feel like I need to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, does this brand have it in it for me to pay up for it? Does this style within this brand have, you know, the ability for me to pay up and still make a profit? What was the other thing? And then category, would I pay up for a coat more than I would pay up for a top? And I do think that category is probably the most, I don't know what the right word is, but like, you know, I would probably more pay up along category lines than I would for brand or style. I would need to look at those more specifically, but if like I would pay up for a coat because inherently a coat is going to have potentially more value. And so I'm more likely to pay up for coat. And I've actually paid up for several coats recently, 2 Zara and 1 Cole Haan, which I talked about in my What Sold on Poshmark video, which kind of prompted all of this discussion. Beth says, wait for it. Beth says, I have paid much more than that. Retail arbitrage, probably as much as $60. Oh my gosh. It is really risky and slow flip. Wow. Well, good for you for having the stomach to take those kinds of risks, first of all, because I do not. And second of all, if you feel like, with retail arbitrage, maybe there's because it's new with tags, and maybe it's more current because it's recently liquidated into, where did you say, you didn't say where, but like maybe a TJ Maxx or a Nordstrom or something like that. So it's more current and it's new with tags. So that already kind of like bumps you up the ladder of feeling more comfortable with paying up for something like that. I could see how that would be good, though I've gotten into such trouble with retail arbitrage. So that's not really my cup of tea. But so for me, I think category informs it the most. Then I think brand. I do not trust my style picker. So for me, it would have to be something I really feel comfortable with. Like I know I've sold X, Y, or Z style before, and maybe something like high-waisted something right now, or something with like puffy sleeves right now, because everybody's kind of into this puffy sleeve, more like voluminous shoulder type of thing. But I would trust myself on category and brand more than I would trust myself paying up for something based on style. So let me know what you guys might think of that in the chat. And then I put, how do you research if you should pay up? Is there a different strategy that you go through when checking comps, not just to pick up something at the bins and decide to throw it in your cart or not for $1, but when you're paying $20, let's say at a buy, sell, trade store, or at a Goodwill where something's marked up, or, whatever other thrift store you may go to. My sister recently went to like a mom and pop, I don't know if it's a thrift store or consignment store, but either way, and they had a designer sale. And so everything was $15. And so she asked me if I wanted anything. And I said, well, what do they have? And for me to pay $15 for something, it has to be legit. But I took a risk on, I think it was 2 brand new with tags Worth, the brand Worth dresses, which, some of their sweaters are like several $100s. So I'm not even sure what the retail value is on the dress. I think she said it was like $695. So to me, to pay $15 for Worth, who I have sold before, new with tags, $695 retail value, for that to go to ThredUp, I feel okay about that situation. Now, would I pay $15 for a brand new with tags Worth dress specifically to go on Poshmark? I don't know. Because Poshmark sometimes, even if you have this really amazing piece, the market could be just like, pew. So, for ThredUp, I think that might be an okay situation as long as it sells and you can send it in till it sells when they let us send in things again. But, so for me, $15 is fine. But I would go off of like, have I sold something like this before? Does it have the retail value I need it to? Let's say for ThredUp, what does the ThredUp payout estimator say? What have some of my solds been on ThredUp? And then if it's Poshmark, I almost trust my track record more than the solds on Poshmark, because things can sell. I forget if it sells on an offer, I think the price changes. If it sells in a bundle, the original price stays, which may not be the actual price that it sold for. I think that's how it is. So either way, sometimes the solds on Poshmark are not reliable. And I don't even bother checking eBay for comps because, 1, I'm not selling on there right now, and 2, I hate looking up comps on eBay. It is not my favorite thing to do. If anyone has anything to talk about in the chat on that, feel free. Thanks to everybody who's here. I can't see like the likes or anything, so it looks like there's 14 people watching. I'm sure people are coming in and out. If you can go ahead and smash the like button, that would be great. Then I have, what is the decision driven by? Is it driven by profit? Like how much profit can you make on this item? Or is it that it is a fast flip, which I kind of talked about real quick in the beginning. So Melissa, you might have a comment on this. Something like, if I know, like I bought all of these athletic wear items on swap.com and I paid an average of $12 per item for all kinds of items, jackets to leggings to skirts to tops. And so I knew I would get more for some and less for others, but either way, my average cost was $12. But I bought them right in time for January. They all were listed, and I won't say they're flying off the shelves, but probably more than half of them have already sold. And then the other ones, I have them high because I paid up for them. And so if I lowered them, I could, and I put them on my sales or whatever, I'm sure I could move them quickly, but I know that I have them priced high. So, it's timeliness because it's the right season for athletic wear at the beginning of the year. And Athleta, you can find stock photos for, you can find the style name for, and it's a good selling brand. I mean, I think that there are some things that maybe don't do as well, but in my what sold video this week, I shared how one of the leggings, they were fleece lined leggings, and they sold at full price for $50. So I paid 12. It was a $50 sale. I got $40 in earnings, and so then I made $28 profit. And it sold relatively quickly, 2 months or less. So I think I go for profit when I'm initially buying it, but I probably end up trying to actively sell it based on, a quick flip. Now that it's already listed, maybe I bought it thinking I was going to get so much money, but now that I have it listed, I want to sell it quickly. So I'm probably in between on both of those. Curious what you guys might think. Yes, you go off your own comps for Poshmark. That's Melissa. And then Isabel says, I only check comps on eBay for hard goods, not clothing. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't do any hard goods really. So, okay. Side note, did you guys see the pets thing? How Poshmark is allowing pet stuff right now? I put it on my stories that I want to have a pet store. Oh my God, that would be so fun. When I used to go to the bin, this is a side note, then I'll go back to the stuff. But when I used to shop at the bins, I used to always find pet costumes, pet sweaters, and dogs, I guess, basically, and doggy like clothing or whatever. And I would buy it, and some I listed on eBay when I was on eBay and sold it there, but mostly I would just list it on Facebook Marketplace because I couldn't put it on Poshmark, and I would do okay with it because you're paying pennies for, these little hot dog costumes or whatever. And if they would fit Malia, our dog who's 60 pounds, I would keep them for her. But most of the clothing for dogs, it's not for big dogs. It's for little teeny weeny barely dogs. And so I would always buy it, but then I stopped because I'm like, I don't want to waste the time putting this on Facebook Marketplace and dealing with the people and the pickup and all, and you're not going to get that much for it. But it killed me that there were all these dog clothes that were so cute. And you could get it for cents. So if you are near bins and you're going to a bins, I hope you find some great hot, dog costumes or whatever, things for cats, and you make a bunch of money on Poshmark. Because I don't know that I'm going to come across it that often anymore since I'm not going. I found it. I think it's a good, some of them putting toys on Poshmark is it's okay because you can ship something 5 pounds. And so for a toy, that actually might be great. But I was kind of like, is anybody really going to think of Poshmark and think of toys? You barely get them to think of kids' clothing, which I'm not even really doing that much anymore. But the dog one, I thought, not that everybody's a dog person, of course. I understand that there are cat people out there and, good luck to you. But, if it's supposed to be this young girl, my super cute Poshmark girl avatar that I talk about all the time, if super cute Poshmark girl has a pug, she's going to want to buy stuff for her pug on Poshmark, and she's going to think it's so cute that she can, and she's going to go on there looking for the pug's Halloween costume or whatever. So I don't know. I feel like that's a good fit more than toys. I don't know. Is that weird? I know you do. Melissa loves cats. Beth, let's see what you have to say. I'm trying to remember I forget to put the thing up. I always calculate a break-even number. I go off of what I know it's worth and check comps and how many other people are selling the same item. I only pay up on things I'm an expert on. Good. I mean, I think that's a good way to look at it, because you don't want to go getting yourself in all kinds of problems. So I think that's great. And that leads into kind of the next one, which is, how does paying up fit in with your business model? I had mentioned this up at the front that I really saw this week because I did a 70% off sale for Super Bowl because I'm stuffed to the gills here. I need space. I'm like, the storage unit's coming. I'm going to have to, because there's just no where to put the things. So I convinced my husband to get one more for me to put up. I have the shelves. to put up one more shelf in the garage. And that took a lot of finagling. So I get one more shelf in the garage to maybe hold me off till summer, but I'm doing these big sales to just keep things moving. And for most items, because of the way I'm pricing and the way I do have the business model running, even at my $3 and $4 average cost, $4.31, even when I'm doing my 70% off, which is the highest I've ever done, I was still making money. There was two that I kind of made a math mistake on, which is not, math is not my strong suit, so it happened. So that was my fault. But the paying up items really do mess it all up, because I put those not for sale when I go through and I'm doing the offers. That way I'm not paying attention. I can just kind of like press all the buttons, and I'm not going to accidentally send out an offer on something I paid up for. So I make them all not for sale. So they're just kind of out of the way. But the more that I pay up for items, the more of those I have, the more work it is to like push them off to the side while I'm focusing on the offers and things like that. Or what if people bundle them in anyway? So, you know, it's like I like paying up for stuff because oftentimes I'm paying up for the right things, but all the work and shenanigans of working it into the way I run my normal business model is kind of annoying. And so I'm wondering if it's worth the time. And then what I brought up in my What Sold video this week was, you know, if I had this Cole Haan jacket coat, it was new with tags, it was like a $300 coat. And I think I bought it for $25 or something, $20. And they gave me, you know, I went back and forth. I put on my Instagram about, you know, how I went back and forth with this person, and then they declined the counter that I gave them, which was $65 because her offer was $50. And I thought about it some more, and I was like, I don't want to sit on this. What if nobody buys it later? What if I sit on this $25 investment? Do I want to do that? Why don't I just take the $50 offer, clear the $40 minus my $20? I'm still making about $20 or $15. It's not like I lost money. Why would I ignore profit? And so it's just running into and having that, like, I don't know, the wherewithal or the stick-to-itiveness to, you know, hold your guns and say, yes, I can get more for this. I will wait for more for this. But I don't know if I have the stomach to wait for more for it. Let's see. The bins were bad in Miami last time I went. Yes, that's right. You're down in South Florida. Yeah, I've got 2 bins here in Orlando. I used to only really go to the one, and it was fine. It wasn't anything amazing, but I haven't been in over a year. That makes a lot of sense. I sell Dalmatian stuff, as my daughter has a Dalmatian. So like when you say Dalmatian stuff, is it things featuring a Dalmatian, like a t-shirt with a Dalmatian on it? Or is it things only specifically for a Dalmatian? And like what kinds of, like, I'm really curious. I mean, I'm like this close to really thinking of what is my dog name gonna, like, what is my dog store name gonna be? Like so close. I have a storage unit, but I'm really sad I can't work in it. I know. I live in Wisconsin. It's currently 3 degrees out, and that doesn't include wind chill. Oh my gosh. I am not trying to sit in that. No, Isabel, you are not trying to sit in that. So yay that you have a storage unit. I miss having my storage unit, and I don't. I had it for quite some time. It worked amazing. It worked well. I have some videos on it, but I'm getting ready to probably over the summer get back into one. And I'm just kind of thinking about, like, I'd like to have 1,000 items. I'm at 700 right now active. I'd like to have 1,000 items before I move into the storage unit. That way I feel like it's really worth getting the unit, because here it's about $300 a month. I'll probably be able to get in there for like maybe 200, and then it's going to creep up because they increase the rates all the time. So I want to go into it getting a bigger unit than I had the last time, so that I can store and sort, because I have a lot of sorting that I do. So I want to be able to, everything I order, just bring it there, sort it all out. It all stays there. It's not taking over my guest room, things like that. So I'm going to do it right this time. I started moving things to the storage unit today. Yay, Beth. Yes. Oh, I'm excited. We have to talk about that. We are repurposing it from personal to reselling. Well, that's good. I mean, if you already had a unit, you're already familiar with it, you know, you can kind of like work it into your life. We're gonna have a good chat. Yes, Dalmatian stuff for Dalmatian lovers. There's a, I will give you guys a tip. So in my Poshmark Poshmark boutique course. If you don't know, I have a course all about running a Poshmark boutique profitably. One of the vendors that I share on the vendor list is a home goods vendor. And I did some box signs a while ago. It was like, they call them primitives and they're box signs. I don't know why they call them that, but I don't have anything in here. But I had a few. One was about wine. One was about dogs. Two were about dogs. One was about making, like, you know, your life happy or something. Do what you love and makes you happy or something. And then the other was like, you know, girl boss type of theme. And I thought those were all good picks for Poshmark. Girl boss, because it's Poshmark, dog, wine, and, you know, do what makes you happy. Maybe they're resellers, maybe they work for themselves, whatever. And so they sold. I made profit on all of them. There are a few that are slower sellers than others. But they have a whole section on stuff for dogs. So like, that's why I'm like, but what Poshmark is adding isn't that you can sell stuff about dogs. It's that you can sell the actual dog stuff. So I don't know. Would you want to make a closet that's like stuff for dogs, like the cute clothes and Halloween costumes and what have you, and also things for the dog lover? So it's like all one-stop shop. I don't know. There's a lot of decisions. If part of my job was just, or part of my business was just coming up with new Poshmark closet ideas, I would love that. Like, I love thinking of new ideas, new closet ideas, and like brainstorming the names for them and like what you could do with the marketing. I don't know why. If you ever want to, you know, you need a new closet name, come and talk to me, because I love thinking about that kind of stuff. Wow, expensive. Yeah, I know. Because they start you off low. You get like a web special or whatever, move-in special. And then every 6 months they jack up the rates, because you being there for an extended period of time doesn't make them any more money unless they charge you more money. But people coming in and out, they move it there till they get the new house and they move it out. They're constantly flipping it and changing the rates and getting all the fees and the insurance. I got to sell you the lock. I sell you the boxes. You know, it's a racket. It really is. Yeah, Beth, I thought was it you that had asked about the course a while back? And then I gave you the info. I don't know. Either way. If you want to take it, that would be awesome. I'm sure you would love it. I hope so. I put a lot of work into it. You go, girl, Rebecca the dog mom. Yes, I love my dog. Oh my God. She's getting old. She's 7. Let's see. Next thing on target here. How do you keep track of what you paid up for and how much? So I did not do this because I thought, oh, I'll remember, because I paid $20 for that and I paid $18 for that and that I got at the buy sell trade store. No, because Rebecca's brain is a giant mush ball, and no, I don't remember. So what I've been doing is I've been putting it in the cost section of Poshmark, because again, I'm primarily a Poshmark seller, and putting it in the cost section, those little private fields on Poshmark, only if I've paid up. I don't fill that out otherwise. So I know what my average cost of goods is. That's in my, you know, financial spreadsheet. So I know what that is. I don't need to have $4.31. And plus it changes all the time. So I'm not going to ever record every single item that I buy, and I'm never going to record the average, but I will record in Poshmark what I paid up for. But the only ones that I've done that for are the ones I decided to do it for, and all the ones from prior are not classified. So the Cole Haan, I think that had it in there. I just don't remember what it was. But so I think that was like $20 or $25. But there were a couple other pieces where I'm like, oh, I paid up for this. I'll have the cost in there because that's my process now. But oh no, I must have bought it before I put that process into place. So I didn't have it. And I mean, I could go back through all my receipts and try and figure out what it was, because most of the time when I'm paying up for something, it's either on Poshmark where I would have a record of it if I'm buying something on Poshmark, or ThreadUp where I would have a record of it. But most of the time I'm doing it at buy sell trade stores. So like I'll go to Style Encore, bring things to sell, and then I'll be looking around while they're looking at my items, and lo and behold, I end up with, you know, all this Lululemon or Cole Haan jackets and Zara jackets and every other cockamamie thing. So I'm curious what you guys are doing for that. Where do you keep track of it? Because I'm not doing an inventory spreadsheet anymore. I decided against it. I'm foregoing it for a period of time. I may go back to it, but for right now, since it's just me and no VA and anything like that, and I'm only on one, platform basically, I'm not doing an inventory spreadsheet where I enter every single thing that I have. So for me, everything's kind of an aggregate and more of a financial spreadsheet than it is an inventory spreadsheet. And so I would imagine that's where most people put it, but I'm curious if you put it anywhere else. Michelle says, yes, it's 7 degrees currently in my area in Wisconsin. All these people up north. I'm over it. By the way, I wonder how much people spend on pet items. Not sure if I'll list them or not, but I'd like to. Yeah, I mean, if you have anything, start there and just test it out and see. I mean, people may already be in the pet market elsewhere, and now they're just going to cross post everything over to Poshmark, or they're going to just run out to, what is it, like Home Goods or something, like see what they can get on clearance and like list all the bamboo dog bones or whatever that they have there that I bought for Malia, and she pulverized it in 2 seconds. So that was that. But yeah, I'm curious to see. I'm going to start going on there and see what people have and what the pricing would be. Like, I know if I bought these like little, like they would have like Santa outfits for your dog, and so I would find them at the bins, and so I know I'm only paying pennies for it. I would list it on Facebook Marketplace for like $5 or $10. Most of the time I listed it for 10 because a lot of the groups in our area have a $10 limit. Like, they don't let you list something for $5. Snooty snoots. And so I would list it for 10 and then see if somebody sent me an offer or whatever. But I mean, I sold a bunch of things that way, so we shall see. Melissa uses a spreadsheet to track all of that, and it averages it out. Yeah, that's why I figure most people do actually use a spreadsheet. And up until prior to this year, I did, but my VA used to manage it, and now that it's up to me, no, it's not happening. Ours is up to 179 after years. My hubby negotiated it down during the pandemic. Yes, it was me. My plate is crowded. I will be getting to it. Yeah, I mean, that's great that you can negotiate it down. I don't know if it's more like a mom and pop storage unit place that you have. That would not fly here. Everything is very corporate here in Orlando, or at least in my particular area. There's extra space and metro storage and like every storage place just popping up all over the place. And I guess it's a franchise, or I don't know, but the guy that's there, like, I know my guy is John, and John doesn't own it. John's just the manager, and John can only do so much. So he's been nice with me, and I think, I'll just keep an eye on the web specials, and when I see something good, because when the supply and demand goes off a little bit, that's when you want to go in and snag it. So, and then whatever, you can like reserve it on their website, and then that's the price that they'll honor. But if you just go in and say, hey, I need a unit, the price that they quote you is going to be higher than the web special. That's what he told me. So I'm going to be stalking their website over the next couple of months to see. Okay, Michelle is in the Fox Valley area. I think that's what you said was Wisconsin, right? I snap pics of my receipts when I pay up and keep it in an album in my phone. I have started putting it in Posh, but I can refer back to my pics. So yeah, that's good. So when I hang it up to take my photos, that's when I'll take off the, whatever I paid up for price tag. And so I will take a picture of it. So like at the beginning of my photo is going to say I paid $20 for this, and then I'll take my normal photos without that tag, of course, for the actual listing. The problem is I delete all the photos. So then I'd have to go back to like my Google Photos where everything backs up and try to find it. I guess I could put them all in an album on Google Photos. That might be an idea. I'm going to write that down. Thanks, Beth. Google Photos, pay up pics folder. Because otherwise I'll be like, yeah, I know they're in Google Photos, Rebecca. Let's see. Ready, Set, Resell got pet items for deal and killed it on eBay. Coats, shoes, etc. for dogs. Ready, Set, Resell. That's the name of them. Okay, we'll have to check that one out. public storage, but everyone was out of work and moving out. So then you had your supply and demand issues, so you were able to get in there. That's good. Yay! It's the Grateful Queen. Hey, Quemby. Hi, friends popping in to say hello. Not sure if you're still there, but I had shouted you out at the beginning because look, I'm on StreamYard. Yay! And it's all because of you. So thank you for the push in the right direction. And look at me pressing buttons and highlighting comments and everything. I'm really living the dream over here. Isabel says I'm in the same area. Combined locks. Hit the thumbs up. 19 watching, only 7 thumbs up. Thank you, Quemby. I appreciate it. Yeah, so you can't see that on here. I guess I could have it like with no sound on the other thing over here, but that seems like a lot for me to manage, which I'm not going to do. Ellie says, how are your Poshmark sales? So for me, Poshmark has been going pretty good. I am in ramp up mode. So, you know, once upon a moon, I had over 2,000 active items on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. I had a storage unit. I had a VA. And then when the pandemic hit and I homeschooled my son, all the thrifted items went to ThredUp. My Poshmark just became my boutique. I stopped eBay. I stopped Mercari, got rid of the storage unit and my virtual help. And so I am now kind of building back up on Poshmark. And so I'm up to about 700 active items. And last week, my sales, well, it's not last week. I'm a week behind in doing my what solds. But on my last what sold, oops, no, I'm trying to do that one. My last what sold, I did $950 last week. So that's, you know, if I can be at around 1,000 pretty consistently for a few weeks and then kind of do what I can to increase it from there, I'm okay. I mean, I think that the most I've ever done in a week on Poshmark only, I think was like $1,800 in 1 week. I did have my very first $500 sales day on Poshmark just earlier last month. So that was exciting. So how are everybody else's sales? I would love to know. And then I've got 1 or 2 other things maybe here on the paying up, but obviously we can open up to all sorts of topics. It's good to get off track from time to time. Oh, you're doing so good StreamYarding. Yay. You are doing StreamYard, trying new things. Yes. I mean, and I've said this on the channel previously. This channel has basically been an experiment in all kinds of stuff for me and pushing me outside of my comfort zone in so many ways. I mean, I'm a yapper, so it kind of maybe will seem like, oh, I just get on here and talk. But if you all only knew how many videos I made before I ever posted a video that I never posted because I was so scared of doing it, and how many, you know, false starts there have been for wanting to create this channel. You know, when you're almost 2 years into it, it's old hat now. I hop on, I talk to a camera, nobody's actually here, but I know you're really out there. But when you start at the beginning, you don't know that anybody's actually out there. So it's a process, like it's a long thing, but all I've ever wanted to do was push myself to learn and do new things. So whether it's learn how to edit videos, learn StreamYard, get a little tech savvy with, like, I think this last Poshmark what sold, I put in like a couple text things and I was like, okay, I'm going to be a big shot now. You know, I mean, if I have any kind of like animated graphic, then I will have really made it. So I just like challenging myself and learning new things. So hopefully that's a good thing for people to see. My Posh sales are outnumbering my eBay for the first time ever. Quemby, that's awesome. Welcome to the dark side. No. Like when I was on eBay and Poshmark, they were always neck and neck because people would always ask me, where do you sell more? And I would say between Poshmark and eBay, pretty much every month within $100 or $200 of each other, they were always dead even. But I had everything on both because my VA was doing it for me. So everything that I had on Poshmark was on eBay, was on Mercari, all across the board. And I think that's why Poshmark and eBay were always neck and neck, because everything was everywhere. I didn't treat one over the other, which I know some people, when they start out one place and then they add in the other, it's kind of like not given as much priority maybe. Let's see. Posh was hot the past week, a real reverse over the weeks before. Of course, new listings helped. Yes. 1,800. Yeah, I mean, but that was a long time ago. So now my highest most recently was 1,300 in 1 week. You know, and of course that's gross sales. That's not my earnings. But yeah, no, I'm going as hard as I possibly can this year. I've really focused on higher ASP items, listing better things. Don't just list it because I have it kind of thing. Like maybe I bought it and now I'm second guessing it and I'm like, do I really want to list this? I don't. I go and I sell it to Style Encore or I send it to ThreadUp or whatever because I don't want to do the work for all the things and have them sit in my house staring at me all the time for, you know, for it not to sell or not to sell for a lot of money. So I think really starting, like I got rid of everything and then started from scratch again. And I said, I'm only going to put it in if it's whatever. And that has been going pretty good. I'm only listing 10 a day though, too. So I can't expect it to be, you know, $2,000 a week when I'm only really listing 10 items. I mean, I don't know, maybe I could. It depends on what the items are, I guess. What a small world. 300 a day would be great, says Beth. Yeah, I mean, that 283 is the gross sales that I would like to hit every day. And when I did my January recap, I was at 236 or 226 or something like that. So I was like $60 a day off of the pace that I wanted to be at. So we'll see what happens. Melissa's Poshmark has been doing well, but I am also blowing stuff out, so that helps. Yes, of course. That's great. Good. Michelle says, yes, I was just there yesterday. Okay, they're talking about Wisconsin things, so let's undo that. It seems like there are so many new channels now. It's in my horizon, but not for the next few months. That would be great, Beth. I would love to see what your channel would be like. I mean, here's the thing. If you're going to do the exact same thing as someone else, or you look at someone else and say, I can do that, I don't know if having a channel, I'm not saying specifically for you, I'm just saying in general, I don't know if having a channel is right. But if you have a unique perspective based on who you are, your reselling situation, your life situation and circumstances, a unique sourcing capability, something you have to say, talking about things that nobody else is talking about it in a way that nobody else is talking about, then yes, then as many people as can do that should have a channel. But I do think that there's a lot of people that just says, oh, I can show you everything I bought at the thrift store and I can tell you everything that sold, and not really offer anything else of them. They're just kind of, you know, emulating what's already out there. And I don't think I do that. I think I'm pretty out there most of the time. a little on the woohoo side. And so you know, the people that are that way also, you're drawn to me and I'm drawn to you. And we hang out together here. Activewear is doing well for my friends on Poshmark. Yes, activewear, I will say, kind of died down for a little bit, but I'm just happy that I had that big athletic purchase that I did, had it hit right when it did. And those first few weeks of the year, you know, now's February where people are sucking at their New Year's resolutions. Like now is when the New Year's resolutions kind of like fall by the wayside. Plus, people are getting ready perhaps for like a spring, you know, up north, they might have February break. I used to have that in Jersey. Then others are getting ready for their spring break. And so you've got that going on where they're not so much thinking athletic wear. Now they're thinking maybe resort wear or swimsuits. So I have all the swimsuits listed. So you always have to be like ahead of it so that you can catch the whole season as much as you possibly can. Niching down has really sped up my process for photos and listing. Yes, I think that is great. Today I did, I think, all bottoms. And then the other day I did all tops. I gotta tell you, tops is so much easier. Just like, it's so fast. I love doing tops. And sweaters for that matter, really. If I was gonna niche down in clothing, I would only sell cashmere. Just cashmere, only cashmere. That's it. Because how great would that be all day long to only, like, I don't like to just only touch cashmere, cashmere, cashmere. To just only play with cashmere all day long. That would be glorious. As I sit here in my not cashmere Mickey sweatshirt from the bins. Let's see what else we got going on here. Okay. I'm going to do a video on zipper repairs. Yes. Okay. That is unique in our group, I think. Yes, Beth, people would love to know about zipper repairs because I don't do anything that would require a zipper repair. I wouldn't know how to do it. But if you know how, I think people would love that kind of thing. If you have like really specific how-tos that can match up with a search query, that money will make you, I mean, that video will make you money while you're sleeping. What happens for me is that I have an idea of a video that I want to do, and I can't really ever find what's like nobody's searching for the video that I have. So I have a few. There are a few videos. Like I have a Mercari shipping video that has done well because people were searching how to ship on Mercari or whatever. And so that video does well. But if the video that you have doesn't match up for search, it has to be really good with the audience that you have, then YouTube will keep pushing it out. Otherwise, the other way to go is to get the search traffic. And in the beginning, you don't have an audience for it to do well, for YouTube to realize that and push it out. So you need to go off of search. So I would highly recommend, researching the search terms around that, how to fix a broken zipper, I would imagine is probably something like that. And then you could get all that search activity and you would probably rank for that. Oh my God, I love the tops sound effect. Whoever knows what the sound effects will be. How much is your bins price? So again, I have not been in a year, but it was $139. It used to be $119 a pound, then it went up to $139 a pound, and that is it. We have no tiered pricing. I know some places have tiered pricing where, you buy so much, it's a certain amount, and then when you go over a certain amount, it's cheaper. We don't have that, just is what it is. But I will say that our bins is consistent in that you will find consistently regular things. You'll always go and you'll always walk away with regular things. Are you going to go and find cashmere every time? No. Are you going to go and find designer every time? No. Are you going to go and find Anthropologie and Free People every time? No. It's a lot of basic stuff. So you could go though and come away with how much I would, maybe 40 or 50 pounds was probably like the biggest amount that I ever walked away with at any one time. I videoed one, Beth says. It was hysterical. I need to get a tripod for my phone. You can. You don't need one. I didn't have one when I started. Just find a place to prop it. If you feel like that would be better for you, then do it. They're, pretty inexpensive on Amazon, but you don't need one. The one I have, I think it was like $19 or $30. I don't remember. I should link it in my thing. I never link my video equipment because I don't really have that much. And also I'm like, nobody's ever asked me, what video equipment do you use? Because my videos aren't that great. Whereas like, I'm sure they ask, Rally Roots, what video equipment do you use? Because his videos or their videos are amazing. Nobody asks me. Michelle says, I bought so many items, new with tags, items that were missing the zipper lately. I need to start checking this more. Oh my God, new items. That's crazy. Well, but not like at a store, not like retail arbitrage. You bought it at the thrift store. It's a new item and it has a broken zipper. My sister, who's a part-time Poshmark person, she's really meticulous about checking zippers. I always forget to check zippers, but I did make a video on like my ideal quality checklist. And I did it for myself. And then I made the video so that, because there was a period of time where I was coming home with so much stuff that had flaws and issues. So I, kind of went through and made a little checklist for myself so I could get into like a muscle memory habit of like, check here, check here, check here, check here, all that stuff. And then, maybe you would miss it less because you're so used to doing the routine. Okay. Agnieszka, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. AD, we'll call you. Hi, welcome. I am a new reseller. I have 500 active listings. I only post 3 to 5 items every few days. I have average sales of 2 to 3 a day. That's great. Last week, I started to post 7 to 10 listings. I only sold 1 item in 6 days. Why? Well, it does take time for it to catch up with you. I will tell you that. I mean, you can list things today and maybe it will sell today. You could list it today and it won't sell for several weeks. It depends on the item. It depends on the buyer finding you at the right moment, how much you share, what your pricing is, what your photos look like. So many variables. Also, we're in a really uncertain time right now. I don't think anyone can get too down about their sales because the jobless claims are still pretty significant. People, not everyone, it's hitting lots of people differently, but the economy is unstable right now. And so people that would normally be buying now for their upcoming vacations maybe aren't going on their upcoming vacations. You know, we had a cruise booked October of last year. We pushed it to October of this year. We still don't even know if we're going to be able to go. So no, I'm not buying cruise wear because I don't even know if my cruise is happening. So it's a long drawn out answer as usual from me, but you can't get too crazy about it. All you can do is know that you're listing your 7 to 10 a day, and that's an improvement for you, and it's only going to help your store whenever it hits. And once you feel comfortable with 7 to 10, then bump it to 12 to 15 and go from there and continue to list more until you get to a comfortable place where you feel like you can not dependent, I don't want to say that, but you kind of expect or can rely on a general amount of sales that happen regularly for you. I mean, I still have off days, but now I'm making daily sales. I'm making several daily sales. And so, probably most days, if I'm not running any kind of special, I'm at $100 to $150 in sales a day. Again, that needs to be higher for me, but you just work at it over time and keep plugging away, and the consistency will pay off. Because even 500 listings, while it's a lot, is not, depending on what you have, is not so large where you should be like, oh, I should definitely have more than this amount of sales per day. I think when you're into the 1,000, 2,000 active listings, depending again on what it is, you could rely on a higher number or higher multiple of sales consistently on a daily basis. So I hope that helps. I couldn't really give you an exact answer on that, but let's see. Beth Spins is $1.89 a pound. Holy moly. Oh my gosh. Yeah, search term info. We can always talk about that another time, but yeah, for sure. That there's a lot of YouTube channels about doing YouTube that talk about that stuff. That's where I get it from. So hopefully you'll look into that when the time is right. Give it a week or two. There is a lag. Yes, good advice from Beth. A zipper repair needs close-ups. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. How are you able to get boutique items? So, Ellie, I'm glad you asked. I have an entire Poshmark boutique course where I share my entire vendor list, all of my vendors. Some do require a reseller license, but many do not. And I actually sometimes prefer the vendors that do not require a wholesale license or a reseller license. I have one, but I started my boutique not having one. And I go through, everything you can possibly imagine about should you start one? Should you open up a second closet to start one? What kinds of things you should order, when you should order them, how much you should order of it, what kinds of prices, how to make the most of your orders, categories, seasons, my entire process I go through, how I started it and all of the mistakes that I've made, as well as the success that I'm having now. So there is a link in the description to my course, so you can check it out and read a little bit more about it and see if that's something that you're interested in. But basically, you just order them wholesale. I do not use the wholesale portal on Poshmark. I do think there are pluses and minuses to it. I have a whole module or lesson in the course going over the pluses and minuses to using it. I did order my very first time, I think one order from there, and then never did it again. I just researched myself, and over trial and error, I've tried some good vendors and tried some not so good vendors. But now I found a handful that I regularly order from. I'm waiting on an order right now, but they've been celebrating Chinese New Year. And so they take this one particular vendor that is in China, takes, their whole Chinese New Year period off. And so they said, get your order in, because we're going to be gone. And then what did I do? I ordered during Chinese New Year's. So I'm waiting for that order. But I have a couple of unboxings on my channel about, types of things I order, and I drop some tips here and there. All of them are in the course, but, in these unboxings videos, I do drop some tips as well if you want to check those out, for free. Also a husband who is, I'm thinking you want to say good with tools there. Thank you, Melissa, for the thumbs up, everyone. I appreciate that. That would be great. We've got 20 people watching. We're almost at an hour. So, we'll start putting our closing thoughts in. Anything, we're kind of all over the place at this point, which is fine with me. I love starting with a point and then we just kind of see where it goes. I miss getting over 100 pounds for 89 cents a pound. Oh my God, that's great. I mean, that's when people say like, oh, I'm getting an item for 50 cents or whatever, because for me, 50 cents would mean it would have to be less than a half a pound. And so that's hard to do. Like there's only so many kinds of wispy little tops, or like, of course, kids items that would be in that range. You should pay for a reseller assist to share your items on Poshmark. That could help your sales. Yeah, so I'm assuming that is for AD, who I'm sorry that I couldn't pronounce her name properly. But yeah, I mean, you could definitely get a virtual assistant to help you share your items if that is the bottleneck. I think the thing is, you have to identify what your bottleneck is. For her, it didn't seem like it was listing because she went from, listing to a couple a day to now listing 7 to 10 a day. So clearly maybe the listing isn't the bottleneck. So maybe it is the sharing. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's the bottleneck is the kind of sourcing. Maybe the bottleneck is that the photos aren't so great. That's why I like doing closet reviews, because it's never just one thing. It's always kind of like a combination of things that work together, that if you can get them all locked in, then you kind of see everything happen that you were hoping for. At least I feel. I mean, nothing that I do is perfect, but I feel like I've perfected a lot of things to where they're probably as close to perfect as I'm going to ever get. My photos are not perfect, but they're as perfect as I'll ever get them. So then that's done. I don't have to worry about photos anymore. For me, I'm getting better, brands and higher ASP items. So that's a work in progress that I know I need to do. Keywords I'm pretty good with now. That used to be an area of issue for me. What else? Sharing is not an issue. That happens. Helpers, like all of that, it just happens. It's good. So that's not an issue for me. Sharing happens often. Listing happens, daily, non-negotiable. So I think you just need to identify what is your bottleneck and start there. And then once you get that taken care of, then you can figure out what else is tripping you up that might be preventing the sales from coming in. Okay, so I don't think I had anything else on the paying up situation. So hopefully, we didn't get as deep into it. That's the thing. You never know who shows up, who's not there, if we're in a talking mood, or if people are just more wanting to listen, not so much type and that kind of thing. So I totally get it. You don't always have to be an active participant, but it is nice when you are, because this is, my 1 hour a week where I get to hang out with you guys. And I look forward to it. I really do. Yesterday, I worked on my custom spreadsheet. Then I worked on like content strategy. My brain was mush. And so I was like, I just can't wait till tomorrow. I'm going to do a couple things in the morning, then I just get to chat with everybody. So I was looking forward to this since yesterday. I hope you guys look forward to it as well. Let's see what Christy says. Christy, it looks like I've missed everything. I will tune in on the replay. Thank you for your videos. You're helping a 63-year-old woman alone to survive. Me. God bless you. Well, God bless you. Thank you so much for joining and for watching the videos and finding them helpful, and for saying that. That really means a lot. It really does when people say things like that, because it's like, even though I know there are people out there that show up regularly, haven't seen your name before, but I'll try to keep an ear out for it. But like Beth is often found here. Melissa now and I are, YouTube buddies. And so Quemby as well. So there's names that you see all the time. And so I know you're out there. So whether you're not there today or not, whatever, that's okay. But I know you're out there. I know you're going to watch. And so it makes it a little bit more real to do the video, to know that those particular people have shown up for you from time to time, I shouldn't say from time to time, every time, or often. And that makes me want to continue to show up for you guys as well. So thank you, Christy, for saying that. And doesn't matter the age, you are doing great if you're on Poshmark and selling clothing, like that's great. And if you have any questions, always shoot them my way. I'm happy to help. Although I will say you are not, just since we're talking about age, because I mentioned this to somebody the other day, there is a lady, I'm not going to say her name just in case she doesn't want me to, but she pops in my comments every once in a while. She's bought my course. She, I think, has bought one of my Etsy downloads. Like, she's a big supporter of the channel, has been around for a little while, and I know her name and everything. And she is 88 years old and a reseller to supplement, you know, the fixed income that she has as a, you know, mature woman in this world. And so she's 88. And so shout out to her. You know who you are if you're watching today. And I just think that that is amazing that she is out there thrifting and reselling and like doing Poshmark boutique, and like all of that is just beyond me. I just am like, she's like the rock star of all things. Thank you. Always informative. I learn with each video. Well, thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That is my goal for sure, is to have, whether I'm learning from you or you're learning from me, somebody's learning something every time, I hope. Megan says, I got busy taking photos and missed the live. No worries. It will be here for you. Although I have to say, I don't know how it works. Like, we go live, and then when I go back in to try to edit like the description or the title or something, it tells me it's processing for quite some time, like till the next day. So I don't know if it's there that you can watch it. It's not there. I have no idea. But hopefully, you know, everybody can catch it later. Rebecca, I am going to AM you to confirm time. Okay, yes, DM, I think you mean. Yes, okay, perfect. Hey, Megan, I'm glad I was able to make it between class. Yay. What kind of class? College class? High school class? Extra adult learning class? Curious. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Absolutely, Isabel. I'm happy to do it. Thank you for being here, and thank you for saying that. So let's go ahead and do it. We've passed the 1 hour mark. I want to be mindful of everyone's time. I go and pick up Geo soon, so maybe I can get like one thing done before I go, or I may just go snuggle with the dog since we've been talking about all the dog stuff. Maybe I'll put her. It's too hot here now to wear sweaters. She has a sweater, and sometimes I put the sweater on her. Oh, we have one more here. Always appreciate you, Rebecca. Thank you. Well, thank you, Lori. I appreciate you as well. And Julia says, I'm late at the end of my lunch break. I left a comment in the other day that I eat. Oh, that's you. Yes. Okay. We talked about you earlier today, Julia. I was like, there's a lady that popped in my comments that says she's paying up to $100 for stuff. I was like, she's such a rock star. There's so much opportunity, but you have to narrow your focus so much and constantly grow knowledge. I completely agree. And that is, you know, one of the things that I would like to dedicate some of my brain power to in this year is to know what to look for. Because it's not that I'm not willing to pay that amount, it's knowing what I should be paying that amount for. And not that I have to pay $100, but whether it's 20 or 50 or whatever, knowing that the market is right and I feel confident in my research and knowing the market that this is a sure bet, or at least as sure as it can get, and I feel comfortable risking that money. But I think everybody's risk tolerance, like we talked about earlier, is probably different. And so that research process may be a little bit different. But I think that is great for you. And I'm super happy to hear that you are doing well with $100 items. College student, double majoring in human services and anthropology. Well, very cool. I was a sociology and communications double major. And I always, so great classes, like communications, loved them all. Sociology, loved it. Just great people stuff, like really enjoyed learning about race and socioeconomic status and, you know, gender issues, and then communications, intercultural communications, like all that stuff. And then when you come out and you realize that you are basically qualified for anything at all or nothing at all, you're like, why did I pick those things? So I hope you have a plan in mind for your human services and anthropology majors, because it can be rough out there when you don't have a plan. That is for sure. Luckily, I ended up in events and hospitality, and that did well. And well, now, you know, I sell used clothing on the internet and talk to all of you, so, which I much prefer over any of that. Yes. But good luck with it. That's awesome. I'm excited for you. I miss college. College was awesome. Yes, Beth, DM, not AM. Gotcha. No worries. Okay, everyone, I'm going to end it here. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Best of luck for the week with great sales. What do I have? I have Sunday's video, I guess, will be next. a what sold, and then some really cool fun stuff is coming up. If you are not on my email list, I highly recommend that you get on the email list. There's a link down below. You get a free gift for joining the email list. And some fun stuff is happening this week in the email list. So hope you will join me there. You're exactly right. You have to know what you're okay to pay up for. I just recently sold something for $600. Oh my God, that's amazing. There are items that people will pay such amounts. Yes, that is fantastic. Sociology minor for a little bit and love those. Oh my God, those are so great. All right, and Melissa says, have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care. I will see you next time. Bye. And